This time around on Author's Corner, a conversation with Teresa Haven Pelinski. Wow, what an interesting background she has. So I just want to tell you a little bit about her background, and we're going to dive right into her book. But like so many of us, she had a great job. She served in state government for 29 years. And lucky her, she lives in gorgeous South Carolina once she hung it up and retired. And lucky for so many, she has written a really wonderful book, Rockabye Jesus. So Teresa, thanks so much for coming on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about writing the book. What made you write the book?
Well, it was, to be honest, it was God-given. I was laying in a bed with my toddler when she was my daughter, when she was small, when she was a little, just about a baby, and I was just singing Rockabye Baby to her to sleep, and then all of a sudden the words to Rockabye Jesus came, and I'm going, where did this come from? And then so I just kept singing, and they just flowed. The words just flowed right together, and so then I was going to go to sleep, and I heard a voice telling me to get up and write the words down. And I said, I'll write it down in the morning. And then I heard it again and again and again till I finally got up and wrote it down. And I just knew it was God telling me to write it down. And then 20 years later, I found where I wrote it down, and I knew, right when I found them, I knew it was time to do something. It was time to either put it in a book or do a song or something. So I knew it was for a book. With the way the world is today, and it was going at that time, I knew that this book was needed for children and also for parents for hope. And I knew it was God-given, and He wanted it out there.
So the message is hope. Tell us more about the book.
The book, I wasn't exactly sure what the illustrations were going to be, but with Jesus hovering around on a white cloud, I knew that it should be on a playground with children. And the hope would be Jesus answering prayers, talking to the children, and hearing their prayers and answering their prayers and healing the sick, and just acknowledging that He is real and that He is there for them, and not to be afraid, not to be afraid to pray, and not to be afraid to call on Him, and that He's there and He's watching over them. And that is the whole point of the book, is that Jesus is there and He's real, and all we need to do is come to Him.
And it's interesting because, as you said, it's great for parents, but for children, that was the idea. And you understand children. You had a child, you have 4 stepchildren, you have 8 step-grandchildren. And as a child, you understand what that was like. Your faith really was ignited then. It helped you overcome depression and worries and the things that happen to kids that we don't understand. Is that right?
Yes, a lot of the stuff happened to me that I didn't understand, but I always knew God was with me because He never let anything bad happen to me. I always prayed. I kept praying and praying. Now, bad things did happen, and they were my fault. I say they were my fault. It was my fault for being where I probably shouldn't have been at the time. But I'm not saying God allowed it. I'm just saying that, but He was there. He brought me out of it. My depression got bad, but God, I knew God was there, and He helped me stand up and stand firm and reach out for Him, and I got out of that. I did not let this continue to hold on to my life and not let me be happy with who I am and in my faith and with my children and with my husband. I meant I was going to be a strong person, and I am strong, and I'm strong in the Lord, and I'm going to stay that way.
And you encourage other people. You even started your own ministry, and
Yes.
and you visit and you pray and you sing for the sick, people who often don't have other people, or even if they do,
Right.
they get people in little amounts, even well-intentioned families, because they're working, they're living their life and trying to fit in grandparents, mothers, even sick children, all of that. And has that also helped you by being the giver, being able to give that back?
Yes, it brings me joy. It brings encouragement to me also. It like fills my cup. My cup runs over when I get to do those things. It brings me so much joy to bring a smile to somebody, or to bring them closer to Jesus, and to bring them closer to healing, bring them some healing, and in their hearts, in their minds, in their bodies. Instead of them laying there saying I'm going to die, they lay there saying I'm going to live, and they fight. And I've seen them come out of it, out of a situation where they could possibly die, and that's because they've given up. Where I've seen them come out of it with the encouragement and teaching the families to bring them that encouragement, to not stand over them and say, Mama, we're gonna do what we can and all this kind of stuff. No, you talk about I help them talk about what we're going to do when we get home. We're going to have a celebration. When we get home, we're going to have a party that you home and feeling better. You taught that. You encourage them yourself. Not just me coming to it encouraging. You encourage them also. And that's what I teach to the families when I talk about to them. Like, there was one woman that I went to see in the hospital. She had a stroke, or she wasn't expected to live, and the family was in there just like mourning. They were just mourning over her, and I brought them out, and I said, "What is it that this woman loved to do?" They said she loved to dance. I said, "Okay, we're going back in there." And we went in there. I talked with her. I said, "I hear you love to dance." I said, "Well, when you get out of here, I want you to do a dance. I want you to show your family just how good you can dance again." And then, but before I took them back in there, I told them, I said, "You're going to start encouraging her. You're not going to stand over her and mourn. You're going to stand over her and bring her out of this. You're going to encourage her that when we get home, we're going to have a celebration. We're going to have a big family dinner, and we're going to dance and sing and all this kind of stuff. You encourage her." And I've got chills thinking about it. So we all did that, and she went home.
Wow.
She made it through it. But that's what encouraging is. Encouragement, you give them a mindset for themselves to not just lay there and say, I'm going to die. You give them that encouragement to fight. And your mind, when you start fighting, your body starts working for that fight. And you really get, and she smiled. And she knew, she smiled.
Wow.
And I did not go back to see her after that. I said, Lord, I think I did what I was supposed to do. And I didn't go back because she got out a couple of days later, I think, or that week. She got out that week, and I wasn't able to go back at that time. But I asked about her, and it was my husband. It was my husband's someone that he had that was at his work. Some family member that worked at his work knew her, and had asked me to go see her, and that's how I got to go see her. And so they had told her how well she was doing.
Wow.
They told him how well she was doing, and things like that give me encouragement. Also, it gives me more encouragement to do more of what I do, and I'll make posters and write all kinds of sayings on the posters, like encouraging words like Jesus is love, Jesus loves you, and peace, faith, hope, believe, kindness. And I'll write even their family members' names on there if they tell me who they are. And I'll write them on there and tell them they're waiting at home for you. And it's different things I will write on there. They have their own poster, and I'll get all my markers, and I'll just go to town writing these big old posters, and I'll take them in there and I'll hang them on the wall where they can see them every day.
Wow. What a great lesson for so many people. Anybody listening to this, you should try to emulate what Teresa's doing. If more people spread that encouragement, that love, imagine what it would be like for so many people. Again, the name of the book is Rockabye Jesus, Teresa Haven Pelinski. Wonderful to have you on. Pick this up on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Thank you so much.